Say your name.
Joanna Trinsky.
All right. So, do you feel beautiful today?
No.
Why?
Because of the way I'm dressed.
Well, elaborate.
I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweater, and my hair is up.
Okay, well, why is that not beautiful?
Because I associate it with a bum, and I just don't like the way I look with my hair up.
Tiffany Hale.
Okay. So, do you feel beautiful today?
I do, actually.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, what makes you feel beautiful?
Letting go of arbitrary standards of beauty and doing what makes you feel good. And then when you feel good on the inside, you want to look good on the outside, and you kind of have to define that for yourself.
Okay.
Belmira.
Do you feel beautiful today?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What makes you feel beautiful? Today, for example.
I think this striped shirt is very flattering on me.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, my hair is a bit crazy today because I slept on it kind of funny, but I'd say the shirt.
Okay.
My name is Alyssa. I'm also going to answer the questions I asked these young women. I feel it's my duty as well. So, do I feel beautiful today? It's a difficult question. I'm not sure. It depends on how I dress or, what kind of day it is. I guess just social interaction has a lot to do with it. But I guess more of how my day is going, or if I have the confidence for the day.
So how do you think that women are portrayed in the media? How they look, or is there a certain type of woman,
Skinny, blonde, wearing skirts, I don't know, a lot of makeup,
Okay.
no pimples.
Which is a problem we all face. And so do you think you're being compared to these types of women on a daily basis?
Maybe subconsciously, but it's not like I walk around thinking damn, I don't look like the models today.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have a more realistic thing to compare myself to. Not crazy.
Do you think guys, have a certain standard compared to...
They definitely do, just because they're kind of maybe I think that people who make advertisements think that men are like animals, and so they portray women a certain way, but that's not necessarily the way that men are. At least I would hope so.
How do you feel about how women are portrayed in media?
It's complete bullshit, and it makes me very angry. Especially because I know, I know Photoshop, and I know what they do to the images, and I know, they just change it so much, and people look at it like it's absolute truth, and they look at it and be like, wow, I have to look like that, and, she can look like that, I can do it too, and they internalize it, and it makes you hate yourself over something that isn't real, and it really makes me angry. It's I used to hate myself over something that wasn't even real, and it's ridiculous.
Okay. So, do you on a daily basis, or have you ever felt compared to these kind of ideal women?
Every single day.
Yeah.
24/7.
So, by men?
By everyone, men, women. I meet somebody, and it's even if it's not at the forefront of my mind, it's not I'm oh my god, I'm so worried about it, but I know what the beauty standards are, and I know that when you meet somebody, you're being compared to that, And even if somebody's oh, it doesn't affect how I judge people, blah, 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 it does. And I know people who flat out say, no, that person's ugly, I'm not going to talk to them, so.
Wow, it's pretty sad. So how do you feel about how women are portrayed in the media?
Well, one thing is I think only 3% of who controls the media or who makes the last calls are women. So 97% are men. So most of these calls are, most of these depictions of women are made by men. It's something that still exists to this day, and it's been around for a very long time, where men I guess you could say in a very direct way, almost determine what is beautiful for women. I think many times the imagery varies as far as what is beautiful for women. That it's relative. I mean, it all depends on the person who's making those final calls. I don't have one specific definition of what beautiful is. I feel like women should do whatever it is they want that makes them feel beautiful, whether that is to be full-on glamour like Dita Von Teese, or to look like me every day. It's completely relative. I feel like that is one of the last things that women are ever going to be completely liberated from, is being judged based on their appearance. A woman who likes to get put together, someone who likes to get dolled up, is probably going to be judged as someone who's dressing up to appease men, which is also another assumption, is that every assumption is almost based on our heteronormative society as well. For all we know, that woman could be a lesbian and she's trying to impress other women. I really don't have too much of a problem with how women are depicted. The only problem is the fact that men are the ones who make most of these decisions. But I feel like women should be able to dress and present themselves however they please.
And do you feel compared to these types of women on a daily basis, or have you ever felt compared to them?
Oftentimes, yes. Sometimes it all depends what the case is. I mean, I just like to be comfortable, but sometimes I do like to get dolled up. Sometimes I do like to look like I'm some pin-up queen or something of that nature. It really all just depends on my mood, but I try not to compare myself to other women, because, I mean, their circumstances and their life is different from mine. I dress for my life, they dress for theirs, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, once I start making comparisons, sometimes that could end up turning into a vicious cycle of self-loathing. And just, if I find that a lot of women who do compare themselves to these ideals sometimes sabotage themselves. One of the reasons why I personally like burlesque is because all kinds of women get into it. One of my favorites to watch always is Dirty Martini. She's a heavy-set woman, but she just exudes an extreme amount of confidence and energy. She's an amazing performer, and she's not changing her body for no one. She's not going to, I hope never, going to lose weight just to look like Dita Von Teese, for example. I also like Dita, but Dita is very much an ideal. She has become mainstream, in a sense, probably because of the way she looks. Not so much solely on the merit of her performance ability. She is a good performer, I do think so, but I think the reason why she's so popular is because of the way she looks. I hope women like, for example, Coco La Mer, she's an African-American burlesque performer, and Dirty Martini, I hope they become more mainstream. And probably the reason they are not mainstream is because they don't look like an ideal. They don't look the way the media portrays most women to look.
how do I feel about women being portrayed in the media and how they're portrayed? I guess it's kind of upsetting to see what society deems as beautiful and the unattainable ideals that are set before us, that women sacrifice so much for, and what you're expected of from society and from magazines and TV, beauty products. I think it's something that women face every day. It's hard to escape and hard to block out. I can personally say that for the majority of my life, I was not concerned with what society puts in front of us, but I think lately the more in touch you are with media, the harder it becomes to block these things out and to convince yourself that society's wrong and, you are beautiful. And I do feel, compared to these ideals, on a daily basis. Personally, with certain social interactions, you kind of know in the back of your mind that people are comparing you to other women or, things that they see on a daily basis, models, women in ads or television shows, it's hard not to feel like you're being compared to these people. But I think it gets better, and I think the more self-confidence you have, the better off you are.
I think that there's a lot of talk about this, so maybe it'll change. It's not anymore so completely chauvinistic and women are material type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's getting better.
You think so? Yeah.
There's hope. Yes.
It's good. Hope is good.
Like that girl. Wait, hold on. From Pitch Perfect, the British actress,
Rebel Wilson. Yeah.
There you go. She and Adele. There's a whole bunch of people that are you don't need to be skinny to be beautiful. Crap.
So you've seen my paintings, my sexy ladies. How does it? What do you think about it?
I like them because number one, the first thing I noticed is that they weren't skinny white people. I'm sorry, I'm not a skinny white person, and so I looked at them holy shit, it's not a skinny white person, and that was refreshing. And then I like that they're colorful and you can see the curves, and they have body fat on them. And they look good, and I like it. It's realistic.
There's something about your paintings that makes me think of a vulnerability. Because the woman's not facing the audience. She has her back turned. But they aren't, in a sense, ideal. They aren't these stick-thin, model-esque women.
I think that the inspiration from my paintings, this one happens to be an actual self-portrait from a picture of myself. I think that it's a way of coping with certain issues that I face or, that I feel. It's a good way to embrace myself and kind of forcing myself to put my body in a not so straight up way out into the public, for people to see. And, they might not know at first that it's, actually me or my body. And I guess seeing people's reaction to it, because everybody knows what kind of women are idealized, and I guess it's just a way for me to deal with it. I think that by doing this, it's easier for me to cope with myself and almost forces me to deal with these kinds of things. I can easily just push it off and, pretend like nothing's there, but by forcing myself to paint and thinking about these kinds of things. You know, I'm facing these issues while I'm painting, and it's a very real thing to go through. And I try and use certain colors. For example, the blushy reds and pinks are representing shame or embarrassment. Her back is turned. She's not looking at the viewer, holding herself, kind of trying to cover up as much as she can, but it's kind of impossible, for she is nude. And, her hair is kind of holding her, and almost embracing her and covering her up. But I think that it's a good way to deal with these kinds of issues. And as an artist, I think that it's almost the easiest way. It's not so easy to talk about these things to certain people, but I feel that the canvas doesn't judge me, paint doesn't judge, viewers might, but that's kind of obvious going into it. But I just really hope that women, all women and men, understand that, you can't really rely on society to tell you what's beautiful, and it's what about you and what makes you feel good. And, everybody really is beautiful in their own way, I think. Yeah.